Okay, before we go to Grady, we're going to do the summer of '58 because it was something else. It was something to really remember. Besides my romance with Debbie Smith and all the walks on Ocean Parkway and holding hands, there was a lot. It was really more about Richie than anything else. First of all, it was this card game on Forster Avenue. Really fancy apartment house. These people had money, and we were playing with kids basically our age, but the father was involved too. And Richie spotted some dealing from the bottom of the deck, and we think the old man was part of it. Richie didn't say a word. That's the way he is. He just you don't want to mess with Richie, but he doesn't come up. You don't know what's going to happen. Anyway, he invites him to a card game that we're running supposedly, and it's in this apartment on Ocean Parkway. He comes down, it's in the basement, and there's a workshop there. All of a sudden he finds himself alone with Richie, and Richie's just smacking him around, saying, admit it. He wouldn't. In comes Richie's older brother, Billy. He goes, I'll take care of this. He gets the kid's hand and he puts it on a block and he swings an axe, and whether it was on purpose or accidentally, he takes the tip of his finger off. The blood, oh, I tell you, but that was an experience I never want to go through again. Then there was Old Man Sam. Old Man Sam was the janitor for another apartment on East 4th Street by Avenue P. And he would get paid every 2 weeks, and we would go down there and play cards with him. And one way or another, I'm a little ashamed to say it, one way or another we would always win. So that was a little income for us also. Then there was the burglary. Yeah, we were going to become burglars. Now, Richie, as I've said, lived on McDonald Avenue. It was really a complete row of stores. Not the kind that you go in for retail, but it could be like a plumbing supply company, real dumpy block. And then all the apartments were above the stores. And the stores went out further in the back than the apartments, so you could actually go out the back window and walk down the whole row of houses. About 10 houses down, Richie knew the people that lived there and they were going to be out for the day. So we decided we're going to go down, go in through the back window and see what we can find. The back window was open, we're in there, hardly 3 minutes, and all of a sudden we hear them coming up the stairs. We hightailed it out of there so quick we almost broke our necks just getting out of it. But that ended my career as a burglar. Never tried that again. And then Richie had a romance with Frances Duval from the 8th grade, and she was a bookworm type, kind of cute in a bookworm way, nice little figure. But how she got involved with Richie is amazing, because they're not cut from the same cloth. Maybe she was fascinated by him, I don't know. But she lived over on, I believe it was East 4th Street near Bay Parkway, on this really street-lined tree block, whatever you want to call it. You see the tongue gets tied every once in a while. And just a couple of doors down lived somebody that would become very famous, this tall, skinny, gawky kid by the name of Billy Cunningham, who went to Erasmus, became really famous in high school as a basketball player, went on to the Philadelphia 76ers as a forward and then a coach, and was one of the best. But Frances's father didn't want her to have anything to do with Richie. He knew of him, understood what he was, and forbid her to see him. Well, at first they used to sneak, and Richie would go over there and hang out with the Cunninghams, but the father soon put an end to that, and then Richie got even. Let me tell you something. Over the next couple of years, not couple of months, a couple of weeks, but couple of years, he drove the man totally insane. He would call up a pizza place and have like 8 pizzas delivered. He would call up a plumbing company and have supplies sent over. He would call up all kinds of places and get deliveries, and in his own way, let the old man know that he was doing it, which the cops were called many times. They couldn't prove Richie was doing a thing, no. Then the thing that really, Richie came up with this ingenious thing. He would call up people that had advertised they lost their pets. And let's say there was a dog. He'd call up like he was Mr. Duval, give his address and phone number first and say, I found your dog, now what is the reward? And then when the reward wouldn't be big enough, him as Mr. Duval would just say, okay, forget about it. Now, you know, these people went there enraged. Eventually, Mr. Duval went to went to a sanitarium. I'm telling you, the man finally broke and flipped out, and Richie did it. But that's the way he is. There's got to be stories about Richie in the future that you'll find hard to believe.